A large portion of the county has been affected by this.
And when I turned on to 227, it just got progressively worse and worse and worse. And then when I got to the park, I was like, oh my God.
But the debris field was unreal.
We're very, very, very fortunate. There were a lot of people who were, had trees that fell on their homes, caused major damage, but they were not affected. They still have their lives. So they were not injured, they were not killed, but they were in these homes but escaped injury and death. And it's amazing to hear some of their stories because the way some of these trees fell on the homes. So especially these mobile homes, because it was just like crushing a can. One thing that makes this disaster different from the others that we've had before is, of course, the long-term loss of power. And with this particular situation, had we not lost the TVA power, which meant we were out power without about 7 days there countywide until they got some patched power up from Alabama Power, that was the biggest. It was kind of like a disaster in a disaster. A lot of these tornadoes didn't get on the ground. They were about treetop level, which means we had a lot of trees on homes, trees across roads, a lot of trees. The main reason why we're here is to make sure that we can provide assistance to not only our first responders so that they can assist the victims, but victims. Whatever we can do as far as search and rescue, and then the long-term recovery process to get them back to some point, some type of semblance of normal life again. And it will be many years because they will be impacted emotionally by this.
This bitter earth, well, what the fruit it bears. This bitter earth.
And the campground is going to be a long project because we still don't know what kind of damage we got because the logging crew's been in there for about 3.5 weeks.
The glow of a rose.
The campground was destroyed, and we're so fortunate. You think of people in little metal campers and all these trees coming down around them, and nobody was injured.
Heaven only knows.
They saw what was happening, and they yelled out over the radio to take cover that there was a tornado down in the park. Before I could even get the door closed behind me, it was raining on me inside.
Yes, can be so cold.
Golf course, 95% of the trees on the course are down.
Today you're young. Too soon you're old.
There's got to be over 2,000 trees down just on the golf course. It was unbelievable. And when it was over and you walked out and looked at it, your mind just can't wrap around it,
We had a lot of areas that were severely damaged in our state park and various areas around the lake, we lost trees that, you know, it'll be several lifetimes before things are back to normal there.
But I know one thing, it was a big time tornado, or tornadoes.
The worst of it hit was real early in the morning. It was about 6:30 when the worst one came through. We're estimating actually a couple tornadoes came through the park. I had to park near the entrance to the campground and scramble over, literally over hundreds of trees to get to my nature center. It's located in the middle of the campground in like the playground area. And I was just devastated. It was surreal. You know, I mean, I could, like the bathhouse across the street from the nature center was damaged so severely, and all the trees in that campground section in front of me were down, and you could see the lodge clearly up on top of the mountain where you could never, you know, see that before. And then I turned and looked towards the water, you know, and you could kind of see some water between the trees, but now it's just like, it's just open. It's just, like I said, it's surreal. It's like, I can't believe I'm in the same campground. Like, even trying to walk out of there, I got disoriented. Like, where am I, you know, in a campground that I'm in every day of my life, and I know like the back of my hand. It was just really strange.
And we found ourselves, we kind of prioritized, I guess, really two areas. We worked in debris removal and then distribution and cooking of food. But what was interesting was, it was almost rejuvenating. Like, even though we were like working our rear ends off, there was something enjoyable about helping. You know, there's something enjoyable about seeing people's, you know what, you're providing hope. You know, it's really what that does when you're out there, you know, because, I mean, it's never happened to any of us personally where our house has been blown off of its foundation. But when somebody comes up that you've never met and says, hey, let me help you with this, there's just a sense of hope that comes along with that.
When we went with some of the guys that, I mean, we're a fairly large church. We'll run 1,000 plus through our ministry in a week's time at the several different locations that we have services at. And even me and Matt here being staff here, we don't know everybody. And it's just good for us we would take a team out, and you might have a guy that the only way you knew him was you knew far left side of the auditorium, third row. And you got to build that relationship with him by working with him. You get to see what kind of person he was, and you get to be introduced to people that you stopped and helped that you probably would have never talked to ever.
We have plans to continue debris removal through as long as needed, and we're speculating now about November is when we're kind of thinking that's the time frame that we're looking at. It'll probably take us about 6 months, 4 to 6 months to do what we can do. And so that's kind of where we prioritize. We cooked and served over 35,000 meals within 10 days after the tornado hit.
But I tell you what, I do believe this. I believe that when we get all this debris out of the way, get everything gone, and get it, back, to some normalcy, it's going to be beautiful again.
We lost some trees. Trees will regrow. Now, it won't ever look the same in our lifetime, but nobody was hurt, which is an absolute miracle. Not a single person in this park was hurt.
All things considered, we came out very, very well. The positive side of this thing for me was how well everybody came together and how well things did work.
I don't know who said it, but somebody said a long time ago, said people don't care what you say, do they see how much you care?